Hi students, this is Dr. E. Ramanjane Reddy and you are watching Dr. Reddy's Chemistry World. Students, today I am going to explain the concept of limiting reagent. So this concept I am going to explain by taking of bread omelette example. See here, in order to make bread omelette, I need 2 pieces of bread and 1 piece of omelette. Suppose if I have 4 pieces of bread and 1 piece of omelette, with this I can make only one bread omelette because here the omelette is limiting reagent and bread is excess reagent. So limiting reagent is a one which is completely consumed in a reaction and which decides the amount of product, that is this bread omelette, the amount of product formed in a reaction. So excess reagent means it is completely opposite. Excess reagent is a one which is not completely consumed in a reaction and which cannot decides the amount of product formed in a reaction. Next, we are going to discuss about how to identify whether a given problem is a limiting reagent problem or not. Suppose in a given problem, mass, volume or moles of two compounds is given, then that problems are related to limiting reagent. Suppose in a given problem, mass or volume or mole of one compound is given, then that problems are related to simple stoichiometric problems. See students, in this problem, see 22.4 liters of hydrogen is mixed with 11.2 liters of chlorine. Here the data is given for two compounds. One is hydrogen and other one is what? Chlorine. So this problem is related to what? Limiting reagent problem. Students, next I am going to tell about trick to find out limiting reagent. See, the reactant which has less N by Sc value act as limiting reagent. Here N means number of moles, Sc means stoichiometric coefficient. For example, in a given problem, 4 moles of magnesium is bond with 3 moles of oxygen in a closed vessel. Find out limiting reagent. See, in order to find out limiting reagent, first you should calculate N by Sc for both magnesium as well as oxygen. Now, for magnesium, N by Sc is equal to, here N means number of moles, that is 4, and Sc means stoichiometric coefficient, that is 2. So 4 by 2 will give you what? 2. And for oxygen, N by Sc value is, so here for oxygen number of moles is what? 3 and stoichiometric coefficient is what? 1. So 3 by 1 will be equal to what? 3. So N by Sc value for magnesium is less, so it act as limiting reagent and O2 act as excess reagent. Students, next I am going to discuss about trick to find number of moles of excess reagent left over. See, the same question is asking like this also. 4 moles of magnesium is bond with 3 moles of oxygen in a closed vessel. Which reactant is left in excess and how much? See, in this question they are asking about excess reagent and how much it is left over in the reaction. See, for that the formula is, trick is, number of moles of excess reagent left over is equal to initial number of moles of excess reagent minus stoichiometric coefficient of excess reagent into N by Sc of limiting reagent. See here, initial number of moles of excess reagent. See, in the previous question, we discussed about which one is limiting reagent, which one is excess reagent, how to find out, all those things we discussed. Okay, so here initial number of moles of excess reagent. Excess reagent is what? Oxygen. And oxygen, how much they are given? 3 moles. 3 minus stoichiometric coefficient of excess reagent. See, 1 is the stoichiometric coefficient of excess reagent. So 3 minus 1 is equal to 1 into n by Sc of limiting reagent. So n by Sc of limiting reagent is how much? 2. So 1 into 2. So 3 minus 2, that is equal to 1. Therefore, 1 mole of excess reagent is left over in the reaction. Students, next I am going to discuss about trick to find number of moles of product formed in limiting reagent problems. See, the question is asking like this: 4 moles of magnesium is bond with 3 moles of oxygen in a closed vessel. Find the number of moles of magnesium oxide. So the trick is n by Sc of limiting reagent is equal to n by Sc of product, because in limiting reagent problems the formation of product depends on what? Limiting reagent. That's why n by Sc of limiting reagent will be equal to what? N by Sc of product. So here the n by Sc values of limiting reagent is 2 and excess reagent is 3 and the product is what? N by 2. So I am substituting these values in this equation. So n by Sc of limiting reagent is 2, therefore 2 is equal to n by Sc of product is n by 2, that implies n is equal to 4. Therefore 4 moles of magnesium oxide is formed.